So in my function, I'm going to have two variables. So var tells it's going to have two variables. Roll 1 is going to be the number for the first dice, and roll 2 is going to be the roll for the second dice. And what we're going to say that roll 1 is equal to a function that you have inside all computers, which is the ability to just generate random numbers. And to do that in JavaScript is math.random. So math.random is going to make a completely random number. But as we'll see in a minute, it's not going to create the sort of random number I want. Beg your pardon, not a capital. Roll 2 is also going to be a random number. Now, because it's random, it should be a different random number. So I've said, make two variables called roll 1 and roll 2. Make roll 1 equal to some random number, and make roll 2 equal to some random number. Now, what I need to do now to see what's happening is I need to send those two numbers back to the main program, where I'll see that it's not quite doing what I want yet. So to send things back, as we've seen before, is document.getElementByDesign, which is just a long-winded way of saying send something back to the main program. So getElement by capital B ID. What I'm sending back is something called dice. Seems a good name. So I'm going to send back dice, which of course goes in inverted commas. So send back something called dice. And dice is going to be made up of two parts. So inner HTML. So I'm going to send something called dice back to the HTML part of the program. And what I'm going to send back is roll 1, and I'm going to use the plus. Now if you remember from when we did the addition one, plus can either mean add things together or it can mean add text together. The fancy word for adding text together is concatenate. But what I actually want to do is actually want to treat now the number just as a piece of text. So I'm going to say add it to, I'm going to put in a couple of lines, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and then roll 2. So what it's saying is, you've made roll 1 as a random number and roll 2 as a random number. Now take those two random numbers and send them back packaged as an ID called dice. And when you send them back, it's going to be roll 1 and then a bit of text, which is just and then roll 2. So up here in the body, underneath the button, I need to put in the place where I want it to appear, which is P ID. So make a new paragraph. In that new paragraph, put something that's got the ID dice. And when I've done that, I just need to close the paragraph. So I've put a button on the screen, and when I click the button, it makes the function roll work. Roll makes two variables, roll 1 equal to a random number, and then roll 2 equal to a random number, and then sends those two numbers back packaged together as something called dice, but with a little bit of text between them. Now hopefully I've got all of this typed out right, and hopefully all of this works. So if I now go to preview in Internet Explorer, save it, click on roll the dice, and we have an error that comes up. So I've done something wrong in the code. There's something I've written in there that's not working, is not right. And this will often happen when you do things in JavaScript. So what I need to do next is I need to go back to my code and try and work out what it is that I've done wrong.